Good evening and welcome back to VP4. I'm just going to change the cloth colour. We've dived in before the players. We've got the hot seat match tonight, and it's between Bakermaker and Interchangex, who's just arrived in the lobby. And this is a race to 3. They're going to lag for a break, but before they, well, provided Interchangex doesn't suddenly arrive, let's have a look at the match that's set for tomorrow. It's the one lost side match between Larry and Acero. That's going to be tomorrow afternoon, 3 PM GMT. That'll be 9 AM East Coast and 6 AM Pacific. We will have that match live, all things going according to plan. And this is a match tonight between Interchangex and Bakermaker. And one thing to point out, Bakermaker got through in the last round. Vince says didn't show up. Round before that, Zach forfeited. And then the round before that, that was the one match that Interchangex has won, because he forfeited his first round match against Stubb, but Stubb was disqualified. Here we are, we're ready to go. I don't know who's who, but we are ready to go. And the one thing about Cowboy is, don't pay a great deal of attention. That's quite a good line. Don't play, I'll say that again. Don't pay a great deal of attention to the ratings in Cowboy. But the one thing to pay attention to is the fact that Bakermaker has a lot more table time than Interchangex, so he would have that in his favour. We'll be able to judge how Interchangex does, whether he can string some runs together. Remember, these are tight pockets, so there's very little give in them. We saw Larry struggle in his last match against Romario early on to get the line to the pockets, but in the end he won comfortably. Romario fell away in the second rack, and that was the rack that Larry needed to progress to where he's got to now. The match against Acero tomorrow. And good evening to anybody on YouTube, anybody on Twitch, anyone watching on Facebook, the unlikely one of anybody watching on Mixer, and finally on Smashcast. We should be streaming live to all 5 channels. The chat is working. Good evening. Welcome to the stream. And Interchangex, a slow and steady start here. Looking to build up his contribution and put something on the board without scratching. Always good if you can get in off that break and put a nice little run together. Well, he's going to have to stunt along that rail. Oh, that was a bad one. That was quite a poor shot, because that was an easy stunt and he let it go to the cushion. He should have actually stunned it firm. He would have hit that 5 ball no problem. Well, you've got Larry playing Acero tomorrow, and any of those 2 guys are well capable of winning it now as well, because those 2 guys can put runs together. And sometimes it just breaks down to the caroms between 90 and 100. Who can get there first and who can get well into them. I think it's a lottery as to who's going to win this now. I couldn't put money on anybody to win this. But bakermaker has his first contribution on the board. Like I said there though, that shot by Interchangex, that was a very simple stun along the rail without hitting the rail. It was a simple stun, a little stunny draw shot, firm, and he would have hit the 5 every day of the week had he played it right. And well, it was only 19 points. It could have been a lot more. And well, any cowboy player who plays cowboy regularly would have got that shot every single time, because those are the little shots you have to manufacture to create the caroms. Sometimes you can't always go to the rail at such close quarters, and Interchangex was found wanting there with a little technique shot. And bakermaker's response has already got rid of the deficit. And the double kiss in that one ball never really helps, because it just leaves the one dead in the rail. Going to have to find a way just to punch that out. Now this time he's got a nice shot where he can hit that one ball half ball, not full in the face, just chip it. Well, that's improved it slightly. Now, can he see enough of the 3 to pot it? I don't think so. Maybe he could, but he probably prefers playing the carom anyway, so this should get the 1 ball into play and the 3 ball. Got to remember to try and leave himself a pot though. Well, he's potted a 1, and that improves the situation very well indeed. And now he's in prime position. He's got a choice of what he wants to play as a carom. 5 to the 1. Oh, that was a pot. What am I thinking about? I'm getting carried away. Well, 1 to 3 is easy. And now the 3 ball is now adjacent to the 3 spot. So pot the 3, come back across the table, or leave yourself left side. You can go 5 to 3. Now he's played that with a lot of juice and he didn't need to. Now this isn't perfect. Now is he going to come back up the table here? Now this is going to be 3 to the 1 ball, and hit the rail first and then come in and hit the 1, not hit it direct if you can. That's the idea. Because hitting it direct, there's always a risk of actually the cue ball following that 1 ball in. If you can use the rail first, it's a much safer shot to play. And bakermaker here is certainly making a statement. If he can keep these points, the run first visit to the table really has gone to a run of 57, and this is a type of scoring that you need to be getting and keeping if you're going to go on to win this tournament. Now he's just going to have to get this right. Just a little touch shot just to leave the 1-5. Doesn't want to hit this full in the face. Half ball like that is perfect, because it leaves him the pot in the 5 or the pot in the 3, and he can also then, if he gets it right, just leave the 3 to the 5. Ideally he wants to just push this 5 towards the pocket. Oh, he's just skimmed it with inside English there. Same again, he might try and leave the 3-5 just to get the 5 into play. And this is a much better shot for that. 3 ball has now gone tight, and he's going to have to be careful here. The run is 74. Now, I think that Larry made an 82 in one of his early matches that I streamed. That was the highest run that we'd seen in the tournament, anyway, in any of the streams, as far as I know. And now the run has gone to 76. 5 will take it to 81, but he's got to think about where the cue ball's going to end up. He wants to get down over to the right or down the bottom of the table. And now it's a 5-1 carom, and it's going to have to be the 3 ball. I would think he can thin cut the 1. He's getting himself just out of shape now. And does he take the risk in trying to manufacture a shot here, or does he try and keep his points? Because the worst case scenario could happen here if he gets careless. And that's a good shot. And now he's on 86. He would like to have taken the 3 ball, but he's going to have to take the 1. 3 ball is too dangerous where it's sitting. Again, just a gentle carom to this 5 ball. Nothing fancy. And he can roll the 1 in. And this is an excellent start to this match from Bakermaker. That takes him to 89. And now does he play safe? Because if he starts the cue ball running, it's always a dangerous shot. He's going to try and just clip the 5 and run onto the 1. Good shot. And now he's straight onto the caroms. And this is where it gets dicey. You've got a run of 91. Oh, sorry, a run of 90. And where's the cue ball going? That was a risky shot, but what an excellent run. I enjoyed that. A run of 90 is, well, it's going to have to be a strong response here from Interchangex. And that whole run was played at a nice pace as well. Everything just sort of fell into shape. Never really get in an awful lot of trouble, but it was always getting dicey towards the end there. And he played that last attempt at a carom. It was risky. Risky on that scratch in the bottom right hand corner, but he got away with it. The great thing about Cowboy though is you've got to 90, you've done all the hard work to get there, and now your opponent could do exactly the same. There's that possibility, although having said that, Interchangex is in trouble here. He's going to have to pull off a shot to keep this run going. He's got an awkward cut in the 3 and just as awkward in the 5. With the tight pockets, you don't set that past the jaws, it ain't going in. But the one benefit there is the 5 is now out of play as far as Bakermaker's concerned. And I think Interchangex, if he could, it'd be wise to just pot the 3 into the right middle, keep the 5 ball there for the time being as a backup. He may well carry him onto the 1 as well. And he could half ball the 1 and run to the 5, but if he could work with the 1 and the 3, it'd be handy. But I think at some point he's going to have to eventually get rid of the 5 and probably now leave a 1-5 carom. Or a 5-3. on the force follow. Well, he looks as if he's trying to thin this. I don't like this. This is too risky. Got to feather this. Oh no, it's an open table. It's an open table. Pay attention. Pay attention to the top of the HUD. That's where I've got to keep an eye on, up there, where all of that's going on. Now it seems as if Interchangex has potted a lot of balls in carom, but he still only gets 17 points in this visit, and he's still way back in 47. And that little kiss on the 5 ball there off the rails, handy. Now he can pot the 3. The 3 goes back up to the top end on its spot. Now this is threatening just to go slightly out of shape here. Yeah, this is a little tricky one to read that angle. But he's got it. And again, the 5 ball going over the pocket always comes in handy, but look at the 3. The 3 ball's now dead in the rail on that right hand side. That has to be worked on, and that could bring a premature end to this run. And now he's going to have to try and just clip that 5 and clip the 3, not double kiss it if he can help it. He wants to hit it half ball again just to get it out. Well, he's gone to the 1 instead. He had a good chance here to get that. He's now thought about thinning the 3 ball down the rail, but that's really tough. And once again, anything but a double kiss on the 5 ball, just to get it into the table. And that will do nicely, but where's his next pot? He's going to have to roll or cut the 5 into the top right hand corner pocket. That looks like the best bet, because when you look at those middle pockets, that is so tight to pot that 5 ball. That is way too tight, but it just went in off the jaws, and this is now where he's struggling. He's looking to draw onto the 1, and that's got him back into shape. He's recovered the situation. He's got the easy carom to follow and the easy pot in the 1, and the run has gone to 38. That needs to slow down a bit. Doesn't want to go too close. That's perfect. And of course the other problem I keep saying, because we all have done it 100 times, when you're focused on the pot and carom, you forget about the points, and you forget about checking the HUD, and you end up going out of sequence, or you end up going over the 90. He's got to be aware of that. And that little nudge puts the 3 ball right over the middle pocket. Now where is his next carom coming from? Once he pots this 3 ball, he's thinking about where he wants to try and get this cue ball. Well, that needed to spin a wee bit more. I think he's still fine from the 1 to the 5. Again, if he can hit the rail and then hit the 5, that'd be perfect. Come in behind the 5. Well, he's hit it full. And you see, when he hits it full, the cue ball's just skimming away. It could have went into the middle pocket. Could have went anywhere. But the run is on 51, and he's only 9 points behind. Pardon me. Now anything but the scratch. We've done all the hard work to get back into this rack after that tremendous first effort by bakermaker. A run of 90 straight to the caroms, and Interchangex responds with 55 and counting. Doesn't want to carom anything off this. He's playing this with a little bit of inside just to make sure he doesn't bring that cue ball towards the 3 ball, and he's well away from that. So now we've got a tied match, and what a start to this hot seat match. This is the sort of quality that you're looking for at the business end of the tournament. Now, same problem for Interchangex. He's got a good 3-railer here to the 3 ball. This is not a big risky shot here. If he gets the angle right, he can play a good 3-railer off the 5. Off the 5 ball. Something like that. Not that way, probably down to that way, but there. Well, he's going the other way. And there's no way that he can scratch into the corner pocket off the 5, because the 5's a blocker. But he's going to go for it. I much prefer the other way. That's going to go behind it, I think. But he won't be bothered. That is a great response from Interchangex. And that deserves a nice run as well. A very nice run of 61 when under pressure. But bakermaker on to his 4th carom now. Lots of inside right English to check the cue ball straighter off that rail there to make the carom. If he hadn't done that, the cue ball would have just went left and would have been nowhere near the 3 ball. Now this is a little tricky draw shot. Oh, he just caught it no more. And now he's well out of shape. Looking to miss the 3. That's always the danger when you're trying to go the inside route. When you bring that 3 ball across the table, it's always going to be the traffic that's in the way of the cue ball. But it's a second contribution from bakermaker, and it takes him to 95. And that is very impressive. Only 2 real visits. One of them a run of 90. The second one a run of 5 caroms. And it gives him a crucial 4-point lead. Another good chance of a 3-railer here, but the danger is of potting that 1 ball. He might go inside, up the left side, try and come down onto the 5, but he's way off the mark there. Not enough pace, and he got that 3 ball too thick. Well, bakermaker had the right idea there, he just didn't get the line right at all. This looks nice. This looks, oh, just not enough. Now we've got a tricky situation. He can play the 3 ball and just thin and roll up towards the 5. No great pace. And now we could have the end of this first rack here if bakermaker plays this right. He's going to go 3 rails. Looking to hit the 5, not the 1. But now Interchangex has a chance. Now, does he play the 5 and try and clip onto the 1, or is he just going to try and drop onto the 5 because he's going to push that 1 ball right into the jaw? Well, the double kiss helped here, believe it or not. That's worked out very nice. Now, if he gets right in behind the 1, he could be in business here. Going to have to pull off a nice shot here, though, to keep it going. Try to draw back or stun up onto that 5. Now, again, picking a line to try and draw into the 1. Got to hit the peso to do it, so the 5 ball's going to run up into the top left-hand corner area. Where's the 5 ball going? Well, it's now almost dead. But the run is 4. And Bakermaker leads by a point in this first rack. In the race to 3. And this match has been barely going 25 minutes for this first rack. And the only way to make the carom onto that 5 ball is to come this side. Anywhere on that side, you're potting a 5. Now, I think Interchangex is going to try and drop right in to that corner pocket, in behind the 5. He's going to try and play this dead weight, I think. Or is he going to try and chip it off the rail? Yeah, that's what he tried. I thought he was actually just going to roll the cue ball right into the corner. But, yeah, Bakermaker tried the same thing and he actually got it, but the 5 ball is now out of the game. Cannot try that again. That 5 ball will go in. Now, the ideal situation here could develop where the 3 ball ends up in the kitchen as well. Now, if the 3 ball ends up in the kitchen and the 1 ball stays in the kitchen, if you have the cue ball and you can pot the 5 and then scratch after the 5 ball, that would spot the 5, but that would mean that you'd have other 2 balls in the kitchen, and of course you'd have to play up the table and it would make it difficult to make a carom. But it would get the 5 ball back in play. That's a scenario that could be possible here. It's certainly one that I'd be thinking about, especially the way the match is. If I was trailing, I'd be looking to somehow get that 3 ball down into the kitchen. Because that's the only way you're going to get this 5 ball in play, and you need that extra ball to make it a wee bit more easier to get the possibility of the caroms that you need. You're effectively just working with 2 balls here at the moment, and that makes it much more difficult. So we're going to have a stall here until somebody uses their head and manoeuvres that 3 ball. But of course, if you manoeuvre the 3 ball into the kitchen, it's got to be over on the left hand side somewhere to try and not leave your opponent the carom from the 1 to the 3. That's a very well weighted shot there by Bakermaker, and now he's got a chance to go 2 rails. Well, he's going to go left side, but he's made the fatal mistake. See, if he'd went the right side, that ball was there or thereabouts. If he went the right side, he could have went there there and down onto the one that way. There was a much more safer route. And he's now given Interchangex ball in, well, not ball in hand. He's potted a 3, but he's given him the shot that I would have played the last time. And that's very well played. Now, if he was to go that side of the 3, he has to play this with maybe a bit of right-hand English, so the cue ball checks a little off the rail to try and make an angle. He's gone the other way again, and this time he's just misjudged it slightly. All good efforts to get there, but he's back to within 1 point. And clearly from what these two guys are doing, well, there's the 3 ball now in the kitchen. And now would be the time to scratch. But of course, Interchangex has got the 3 and the 1 right together, so he's not going to be doing that now. If he can somehow keep these balls very adjacent to one another, he's got a very good chance here. But of course the other problem is, unless he gets the other side of that 1 ball, the 5 ball side, he's not going to be scratching in that corner pocket. And this is going to take him to 99. He's going to have to get out of there. And now is the chance. If he can just bank the 1 towards the left hand corner pocket, he's got an easy carom. He's going to be unlucky not to have an outshot here. And the outshot is very much on. A little skim off the 1. And Interchangex could steal this first rack. Well, what a first rack we have in this match, the hot seat match, to see who gets the final. What a start to the match. The best rack of Cowboy we have seen in this tournament by a mile. A first visit by Bakermaker takes him to 90. Interchangex gets in, gets a run of, was it 51 or 61? I'll need to watch it in the replay. And then it all came down to the battle on the caroms. And Interchangex has really battled his way. And that's the great thing about Cowboy. If ever you want an example of how good Cowboy is and how your chances are always there, that's the perfect example. You couldn't get much better than that. Your opponent getting a run of 90, and then you're having to chase him down, put a significant score on the board yourself to at least get yourself back into it, and then battle it all the way through the caroms and pinch the rack from Bakermaker's nose, right under his nose. Tremendous start to the match. And that first rack barely lasted about 30 minutes. No more. And this is how Cowboy is played when you're thinking about everything you need to do about where the cue ball's going, where the ball is going to spot, what end of the table you're at. Well, the thing about Cowboy is using the knowledge that you do have from whatever other games that you play. But the only real bad shot in that first rack was that shot. That shot by Interchangex was the only bad shot. The 5 ball was there, and I think it was the 1 ball was there. And for him to hit that when the 1 ball was there, he had to just hit it firm just below the equator with a good firm stun, and he would have hit the 5 no problem. But as it is, he didn't play it right, and he came off the rail. That's the only bad shot if I was going to be really critical. But other than that, they played the game exactly the way it should be played. I mean, that's been really critical, and that you could put that down to just a bit of touch and feel, because it was the first rack. Because I think then, I mean, I haven't seen what you'd describe as a really bad shot. But what a start again here now, this time from Interchangex. I'm waffling away here, and Interchangex has got himself to 33. And this is a little half ball off the 5 and a little stunt onto the 3. And now you need that wee bit of luck as to where the balls end up to at least still leave you a pot. So he's still got the pot on the 5. He could actually cut the 1 and cut the 5, whatever he wants to do, but neither of them are dead easy. The 5 ball's certainly the easier of the two. But when he does that, he's going to run over to the right hand side. You see, this is why he's thinking now, you see. He knows that he can cut the 5, but where's the cue ball going? If he cuts the 5, cue ball's going over there. And he's looking for his next carom to follow. He's going to have nothing easy. So if he cuts the 3, which he's done, and stays up the top end of the table, he's at least given himself a chance. The 3 ball hasn't spotted because of the 1 ball, the cue ball's in the way, but now he can play with a wee bit of inside again, I think, here. Just to chip that 1, so the cue ball doesn't go to the second rail too soon. He wants to go there like that. And he's just clipped it and no more. 3 ball will now spot, and he's got a pot into the right middle. Or he can pot the 5, but he's too straight in the 5. Now this is where it's now a bit tricky. This is a dangerous one. The dangerous one is hitting that 3 ball, half ball, because you can scratch into the corner either side. And he played it at a gentle weight. The run is now 49. And again, needs that little bit of running. The 3 ball just coming across. Perfect in play. Can pot the 3. Can leave himself the 3-5 carom to follow. That's a possibility. Well, he's going for the 5-1. Once again, ideally half ball either side of the 1. It doesn't matter as long as it comes off the rail and out, rather than full ball and a double kiss. And that's now well in play. In fact, he's put it on its spot more or less. Now if he can, a good follow through here and up the table. Oh, and he's missed the 1. I think he had other things in his mind. He was thinking about the cue ball to leave the stun off the 1 onto the 5 there, or a draw. But it doesn't matter. Interchangex run. First visit after breaking off in rack number 2. He has put 57 on the board. And now immediately Bakermaker's got himself in trouble here. Now can he see the 5? Yes, he can. But it's now up to Bakermaker to respond. And now it's gone awkward. He's got a tight cut into the middle pocket. That is tight, even from that angle. When you look at it, it's got to hit it right to the jaw. And of course, it's so tight, you have got very little margin of error. So Bakermaker has tripped up in 12. He's now way behind, and he's given Interchangex a chance to get to 90. An easy force follow. One will go past that 3, no problem. Needs to bounce off the rail. You can now get the 1 on its spot. Now, is he thinking out a sequence here? I thought he was looking at playing a carom there. He's on a pot. And that looks pretty good to me. Once again, skim off that 5 if he can. Oh, the 1 ball needs to stay there. Didn't want it to block the shot to the 3. But he's got to get himself out of that top end of the table there if he's going to pot the 3, because he has to leave the shot that will get him his next carom. And then once again, just running through to brush off the side of that 1 to the 5. You've always got to be thinking about your follow-up shot. It's not just a case about making a carom, making a pot. It's about where you're placing the ball. That's the cue ball, and where the ball that you're going to carom, where it's possibly going to. And you've never got to forget about where the balls are spotting, because you can very easily mistake what end of the table you're at. You've got all that to go through your head, while at the same time not forgetting that you're on 71 and you're rapidly approaching that 90 mark, so that you don't make that mistake and go over. Well, he wanted to go a bit more. He's gone a bit narrow on this one. He has to get this thin. He would have much preferred the cue ball was nearer the 3 to make it a simpler carom. He's just got to be delicate with this. See, that's all it takes just to put you offline. Had that cue ball been there, the carom from that 1 to the 5 would have been much easier. The tangent line would have been much more open than the narrow line that he had to try and play there. And Interchangex visit ends on 18. It takes him to 75. And Bakermaker, well, he knows exactly what he needs to do now. He needs to get something on the board, and pretty rapidly, if he's going to get himself back into this second rack. He's had the first rack of the match stolen from him by a determined Interchangex, who saw Bakermaker make that run of 90. But Interchangex responded and battled all the way through the caroms to give him what must be said at first glance was an unexpected win in the first rack. The cue ball going dangerously close to the pocket, and now Bakermaker has got to pull off a pot here. He doesn't need to do anything with the cue ball. He just needs to leave it down at the bottom end here. He's going to have the carom from the 1 to the 5. Possibly the pot in the 1 as well, I think. Cue ball again, going half ball off the 5. Again, messing with the corner pockets here. It's just threatening to go out of shape, and it certainly has done now. He's going to need another excellent pot here in this 1 ball to keep this run going. Now, how's his luck? And now He's got a stun on now again. This time he didn't get enough stun. Bakermaker almost clipped to one, but he actually stunned it and slid down behind the 5. Didn't get a straight stun into it, and that's a chance gone a begging there. Another 18 points on the board, but still trailing way back on 34. And surely this time Interchangex will get to the caroms. Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear, well, I think can he see that 3? Yeah, he's right on the point of that knuckle there. That looks as if he's going to clip the knuckle. He's looking to find a line to the 3. I don't think he can get there. That looks right on the point. That cue ball's going to go left. Yep, he doesn't think he can get it either. He's going to have to try and, well, maybe the reverse bank on the 5's a possibility, but it's a pot he's looking for. He's not going to get a pot that way unless he's going to try and bank it in the middle. What a shot. That is a really excellent bank. With these narrow pockets, well, they're actually tight pockets, not narrow, but what a recovery shot by Interchangex. And like I said earlier, don't pay much attention to the ratings in Cowboy. Some guys have got 2,600. Some are like Interchangex on 1,600, but he's well above that points rating. A lot of the time, most of the guys who play Cowboy that I know, most of us play doubles anyway, so you're not getting any change in your rating when you're playing doubles. But Interchangex has missed the pot, and he's on 88, and Bakermaker is what, 54 points behind as he comes to the table. Now, can Bakermaker make the response required in this visit? Again, trifling with the pocket. He's got away with it. Open table. Pot in the 5, or the carom from the 1 to the 5. One ball's going to go in. I think he might have preferred that just stayed up, but he's got the pot in the 3. Oh dear. And Bakermaker has taken his eye off the pot there. And this time he's left an easy start for Interchangex. And Bakermaker needs to get his focus back quickly here. Is he going for the pot in the 1? Well, he's on 88. What am I thinking about? There you go, right to the point of the jaw there, and it's always going to stay up. Well, that's a reprieve for Bakermaker. Well, again, it would have been handy if the 5 had dropped, because, well, luckily he's landed on a 1-3 carom here. That could have been... Sorry about that, I hit the wrong bloody button there. That could have been so much more difficult. Now he needs to play this fairly gentle. Doesn't want to risk clipping off the 1 and scratching into the middle. And another tricky little cut along the bottom rail to keep this visit going. Well, the force follow to the 3. He could stun to the 1. He has choices there in what he could have played. Well, now ideally he wants to pot the 3 and finish somewhere, maybe up in the top left hand side of the table. The further that cue ball goes, the better, just to make the carom simpler. Pot the 5, stun onto the 1. Oh, and he's missed the stun. He stunned it too much this time. And bakermaker, in his last scoring visits, has scored like 18, 18, 17 or whatever, but he's just not getting beyond that, and that's why he's still stuck back in 63. And Interchangex looking for the force follow. He needs to be careful here because he's in 88. 5 balls well away from the pocket. 3 balls now dead in the rail. And now a simple enough pot in the 1. And the 1 is going to respot, and he's going to have the simple carom to follow. Now, can he get one of these balls up the top end? Somewhere near that 3 ball. This is one that's a wee bit tricky. He has to be careful again that he doesn't just hit the 1 full in the face and pot it. But ideally he wants to get a ball banked up the table. A draw. He's looking at the draw from both sides. Well, if he's going to play the draw again, the 5 certainly going up the top end of the table. And can he get the use of it? Let's see what happens. Oh dear, it's dropped in and the caroms have gone. And bakermaker has been given another lifeline, and he's taking the chance straight away. Where's the cue ball going? And he's managed to get the pot in the carom. He's got the open table. And the significant thing is, with Interchangex losing those points there, it's taking them back to 88. And so bakermaker has his chance to get to the caroms first. But not this time. Didn't get the line. And bakermaker has let Interchangex back in again. And the cue ball needs to keep going. He's going to have to go thin edge off the 3, off the end rail with a bit of inside English. Not too much though. Just enough. Put too much on it, you can go right round the jaws and come past the 5, but he's played it well. And once again, Interchangex has got himself to 90. Now, does he play this a bit firmer and try and put... Oh, he's miscued. What a time to make a miscue. He's lost the points again. And, well, bakermaker, I don't think, can believe this, because he's getting another opportunity here to get himself into the caroms. But he's going to have to get the kiss on the 5. What a shot. Or was it a pot? Oh, it was a pot. My mistake. And bakermaker's visit is only 1. Well, I'm getting myself out of sequence here. I'm getting excited. Bakermaker was looking for the pot on that. Was it the 1 ball? I was thinking he was looking for the carom and the 5. I'll need to get a drink. Where's my bottle went to? Well, for the 3rd time of asking, Interchangex has got into the caroms. Now, can he get them and keep his points? Well, this second rack is on a bit of a knife edge at the moment. I think that's going to be not enough. Didn't get enough spin into that. Well, I'm sure this is the 4th time that Bakermaker has a chance to try and get the score to 90. Because Interchangex has only just got there and no more. Well, this is gone out of line again. He's going to have to play a shot here. He can draw off the 5 onto the 1. Needs to get a pot to follow, which he has done. So he's going to have the 5 and then the easy carom from the 1 to the 3 or the 3 to the 1, whichever he does. And now he's in 85. Well, this 3 ball will take him to 89. And then the little brush off that 5 onto the 1. And we will be tied at 90 all in the second rack. Now, is Bakermaker going to come back and steal this rack off Interchangex? Now it's going to have to be a little tricky one with lots of inside left English just to kick in off that bottom rail. Well, this is a little draw, but bank the 1 back over the table if he can, as close as he can. And he's probably going to draw again. Oh, that double kiss there. Well, that almost helped him. It's going to have to be a real thin feather on the 1. Just a coat of paint and no more. And this time he can't play the 5 to the 1. Now is he going to go right side of the 3 ball? Yep, he is, and try and cut across. Has he got there? Excellent. Once again, he can go thin with lots of inside. Can he just skim it? Oh, he didn't get enough. Don't think he got enough anyway. But it's a good run. And it's a good run that takes Bakermaker into a 7-point lead. And finally, he managed to get himself into the 90s at the 4th attempt. And he's got a good healthy lead at the moment. That might all be gone in a second or two because Interchangex has got an easy one to follow. He might play this with a wee bit more pace though. Well, no, he hasn't. He's going to look to go either the draw. He can go from the 3 to the 1. That looks the easier shot to me. 3 to the 1's a big target. If he draws, he's going to have to play with pace. If he's drawn from the 5 to the 3, and he wants that 5 back down the table here. And if that 5 ball slows up, he's in business. And that is pretty good. He's got a choice of shots. Skim the 3 to the 5. He can go off the bottom side of the 5 to the 1. And that's gone too straight, but he's still going to be able to spin off that bottom rail with a bit of inside. And that's worked out very nice, I think. That takes him to 96. And Interchangex, well, this is going both ways here, this second rack. Interchangex has a chance to steal this second rack back. Sounds crazy, but it's right on the knife edge, this. Oh, it's just slowed up. Well, now he's got a bit of a dilemma. Does he risk running the cue ball? Lots of spin on this 3 ball. He's playing the draw again. Playing the draw to the 5. He doesn't want to bank that 3 ball though. Oh, and this might have worked out very nice as well. It's can he play a lot of inside again? This is the danger of the double kiss here. The 3 ball going to run into the cue ball here possibly. Oh, he's well away from it. And now Interchangex on the verge, not quite yet, but on the verge of taking a 2-0 lead here. He can spin off the 5 to get to the 3. He could play a 3-railer all the way down to the 1, but he's got the chip. Oh dear, well there's a disaster. A run of 9 caroms has gone down the pan for Interchangex, and what a disaster to happen at the wrong time there. And the double kiss in the 3 hasn't helped bakermaker. That takes him to 98 though, and this rack has now seesawed back and forth, but it's right in the hands of bakermaker now. And that isn't going to get there. That was perfect, just not enough weight. And the 1 ball is pretty tight on that rail to try and skim off it to get the scratch. But Interchangex is going to have to do it all again. Well, this looks a fairly easy carom to me from the 5 to the 3. Big target again. If you go to the rail first, you're still bound to hit the 3. And this could work out perfect for bakermaker if he can get the stun and go up the table. Oh, he's missed a 5. Because he would have left himself in that left-hand side for the skim off the 1 into the top right-hand corner pocket. But, well, bakermaker sat there on 99. Interchangex was in 99 a minute ago. And he's played a good one to bring the 1 ball into play. I think he's got the force follow from the 5 through to the 3. Let's have a look. Oh yes, he'll get that every day of the week. He needs to play this funnel to bring the 5 down the table. This is a non-miss force follow. This, I don't see where the problem is here. That needs to... Oh, that's unlucky. Or it might work out okay. I think he's fine. Hitting that knuckle looked as if it was going to blow a hole in his chances there, but he's got the 3 to the 5. That's going to... I thought I was just going to skim past. Well, this time he's going to have to work for it because there's nothing obvious. There's a risky shot here to try and stun off the rail on the left-hand side and spin towards the 3. That's what he's trying to do, but he's got to play it with a bit of pace to get this to work. Oh, just clipped it. Where's the 5 ball going? Half ball off the 1. Oh, it was going in. And again, with this shot on 94, he has to just chip the right side of that 5 Now, can he play this and get the 5 into play? Yeah, the high risk of the double kiss there, that was always on. But now the 5 ball is almost out of play. But Bakermaker's found a way to get the carom. And now he's going to try and just push the 1 off the rail. Pick that angle to let that cue ball just run through. And it's going to be a tied game. Wow. These first 2 racks have been excellent. The second rack was anybody's. Interchangex getting himself to 99 and then tripping up and losing all those caroms, all that hard work. And Bakermaker has squared the match at 1 rack all, and the match has been going for about an hour and 3 or 4 minutes. And we've still got quite a ways to go yet. Both players need 2 racks to take them into the final. I'll be back in a little sec. So I'm back. We've got Interchangex in rack number 3 on a run. First visit of 26, but he's out of line here. The shot to play is a stun to the rail with a bit of inside to try and come up and clip the 3. That's not going to get there. He didn't stun it enough. Had to stun it firmer to straighten that cue ball up and then use the inside English for it to spin to the rail. And so Interchangex visit ends in 26. Now Bakermaker missed the carom on the 3 there, but he left himself a carom. He would have had the open table had he got the pot and the carom to start with. Now anywhere up there in the top left is going to give him the carom from the 3 to the 5. The only problem is he's gone close to the rail, and that's why he's decided to play the stunt. It's a more open shot at that angle. Now again, if he can hit the rail, well, he's gone direct. But at least the one ball is still alive. He can pot it, get it on its spot if he wants. And somewhere, well, I was going to say somewhere over the left hand side, but he's left himself the edge off the 5 to the 1. Got to play this at sort of dead weight pace, doesn't want to play too much. You see how that cue ball just wants to scratch in that corner pocket. Always risky. You get the pace in that shot wrong, you're always going to scratch. Thin one, 5 to the 1. Half ball again would be ideal. Well, the little chip is perfect. Going around the corner, chipping that edge of the 1 just brings it into play and can get it in its spot. And staying at the bottom end gives him a choice of shots again. He could play 1 to 5, 5 to 3. It's not going to get there. Not thin enough. Got it too thick. And this time, well, Bakermaker's only a point behind at the moment, but it's a run of 25. Now, can he pot the 1 and run onto the 3? That would be ideal. I don't know whether he can, because if he can do that, he can chip the 3 out with this shot. I think he's got too much angle to play it. Looking at it from here. Yeah. And if he's got a good angle now, he can chip it out this time. And again, finish up the top side of the table. Very easy force follow. And probably the simple draw shot from the 5 to the 1 or 1 to the 5. I'll tell a lie, he's now in a pot, isn't he? He's on a pot, so he's out of shape. You see what happens when you don't pay attention to the HUD? You do what I've just done. You think he's on a carom, and then you look at the HUD and you see he's on a pot. So he's going to have to dig a shot out here. Yeah, so difficult. Well, it's a muted response by Interchangex, falling out of line there, and the run is only 14. Once again, Bakermaker gets the 3, but he's missed the carom in the 1, which now puts him in an awkward situation. He's going to have to chip the 5, come across the 1, and hope he still has a shot. And he's still got the 1. Well, Bakermaker's visit was very short, as was Interchangex there. He's only put another 12 on the board. Bakermaker trailing by 21 and needs to put a dent into that. The objective that I say in Cowboy every time, if you're coming to the table and you're behind, the first objective is to get rid of the deficit and then build up a lead and try and chase that 90 down. That's your object, to get to those target areas. Big target, the one ball, and he's nudged it in. Now if he could have finished on the rail there, he would have got rid of that 5 ball, because again it's dead in the rail, and it's a tricky pot in the one, reading that angle, but he picked a line. And this time, once again, it's like a broken record. Don't hit the 5 ball full in the face, just chip it. You can bring it into play like that. And now Bakermaker has got himself into reasonable shape here. Easy carom to follow. Now, if he was brave, he would play the 5 to the 3, because he'd possibly get the 2-pointer here. I would have played it, but then again, I'm just greedy. But why take risks when you've got a cast iron carom? Where's that 3 ball going? Is it going as a blocker? I think it is. Well, it's now left him open table though, isn't it? So he can actually probably play the force follow in the 1 ball. But he has a tricky pot here on this 5. Now that's looking pretty good now. He can play the little chip off the 1 onto the 3. Has he still got a pot though? You see, this is where it can go out of shape very rapidly. And now he's going to have to pull out a pot, and he doesn't have many options though. Watch that right middle pocket here if he plays this with any pace. I think he's okay looking at the angle. Yeah. Oh, he was so close. But these pockets are so demanding. You've got to get it right on line. And so Bakermaker back at the table. Interchangex scores only 6. And Bakermaker is back to within 3 points. I'm just going to blow my nose a wee sec. Just mute the mic. Well, 3 onto its spot at the top end. And a fairly straightforward carom from the 5 to the 3 to the 5. Well, I would like to pot the 5, because that way I can bring the cue ball down the table, get the 5 on its spot, and give me options. Bakermaker playing the 3 instead, so he's looking to go 3 onto the 5. Got to hit it left hand side. Anything on the right is very dangerous. And he played it okay. Has he still got a pot? Yes, he has. Now he's looking to come around the table and up the table. Well, that's gone straight. And he's now not got a great shot here. He's going to have to make one. Looks like the draw. And he's missed it. I don't think he got it. Oh, he has. He must have just skimmed past that 5 ball and no more. That was like a feather light touch on that 5 ball. So close it didn't move, but the game registers it as a carom. But it does help Bakermaker. He's got himself in this visit to 24. That takes him to 74. Now, whatever you do, don't follow the 5 in. Well, choice of shots again here. You can go 3-5 or 5-1. Oh, he's misjudged that badly. Well, he had the chance. He was only 10 short of the 90. But it's now Bakermaker's chance to give Interchangex the lifeline to get himself well back into this rack. Oh, that might have gone. There's a blocker as well, I think. Yes, it has, so it just leaves him the 5. Another good pot required. Well, he's trying to stun and spin along to that 1 off the 3. And he's played it well, but once again looking for a pot. I think he might have the 3 ball still. Let's have a look. He's just got it and no more. Can just see enough of it. And that now takes him up to 74, just 6 points behind. Just caught the 3. And again, looking for the pot. It's getting tougher. He's got a little tester on this 3 ball. Now, if he was brave enough, he would stun it in and run onto that 5. He's just fully focused and trying to pot it, but he just sent it to the knuckle. And the run ends on 17. And Interchangex, well, got it back to within 5. But Bakermaker now has got to get to 90. He's got to get into these caroms with this opportunity. And he should be in good shape now. Well, I think he's a bit straight on this 5. He might actually draw. Yeah, just drawing back to leave himself the carom from the 3 to the 1. And that now has definitely got Bakermaker to the 90. Little force follow. And is it going to spin? Yes, it is. Just enough inside right English just to hit the rail and draw back towards that 3. And he's missed a 1, has he? Or is it registered? Yeah, it's missed it this time. And so Bakermaker, the run is 12, but he's into the caroms on 92. But Interchangex is not far away if he can get his score to the 90 from this visit. Well, he'll want to pot the 5, I think, just to get those points up. So he's now on 85. Now he's looking for a carom here. What's he thinking and doing here? Is he thinking of skimming and coming around the bottom right hand corner here? Yep. He needs to get the pace into the cube, although he's nowhere near it. That was way short of pace. Had the right idea, but did not get through the ball at all. And so Interchangex is stuck on 85. Bakermaker trying to, well, he's looking at from the 3 onto the rail and onto the 1. And that 3 ball, if it keeps going, will be very handy indeed. That is pretty good. And it's going to be a draw from the 3 to the 1, provided he's not going to pot the 3. Let's have a look. Oh, that's fine. Depends how much brave he is to play the pace in this 3 ball, get it around the table. Because he can now skim off the 1 and roll on to the 3. And just going the inside left of that 3 ball, just to make sure it was doing his best he could to push it away from the pocket, and that was a good shot. That now takes him to 85. Or what happened here? The score's already changed there. Did he miss the carom? Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm losing track of what's going on here. Interchangex now in 90. I need to keep my eye on that HUD. I think it's getting to my bedtime. I think that's part of the reason as well, because the brain starts shutting down at this time of night. But anyway, just a recap, we're at 1 rack all in this hot seat match to see who gets to the final of the VP4 Cowboy World Championship. And Bakermaker at the table in this 3rd rack is now on 98, and well, he's going to be 99 right now. Now look at where the 1 ball is. It's actually in a pretty good position. Looking for the carom from the 5 to the 3, and then looking to stun into that right middle pocket to take the 3rd rack. And there we go. Well, you could say what a fight back by Bakermaker, having that tremendous first rack that he had, a run of 90, to see it been stolen, but to steal, more or less steal the 2nd rack, although it could have went either way about 3 or 4 times, and then to snatch away Interchangex chances in this 3rd rack, and has now got himself into a 2 rack to 1 lead. And the match has been going for less than 90 minutes. And we're now into rack number 4, which of course Interchangex has to win if he's going to stay in the tournament, and if he's going to take this match all the way to a final rack decider. And I'm just going to have something to eat, so I'm going to mute my mic. Well, I just had to mute my mic there. I was having some sustenance there. I was having some crisps, or potato chips as you guys in the States say. So I didn't want to hear all that munching. So we're into rack number 4. We saw both players sort of getting in and then sort of losing track so far, and it's happened again. But Interchangex has built up a 31-point lead, and Bakermaker has just lost track on that one. Missed the potting angle in the 3 and has let Interchangex back in again. And Interchangex with every opportunity of building up a healthy score in the rack that he needs to survive in the winner's side and to get to the final. Now, is there anybody out there watching this? Let me know, because I'm not seeing much chat. I think I've bored everybody to tears, or everybody's engrossed in the match. Is there anybody on Twitch? Now, don't just hold your hand up because I can't see. Now, there's another bad one from Interchangex. So it's only a run of 7. Good opportunity to build up the score there. Ah, well, if you're listening, don't type in the game. There's another scratch now. Type in the chat on whatever channel you're watching. We don't want to disturb the two players. Now, you do know that when you're watching either Twitch or YouTube, that you can pop out the chat, so that you can actually watch the stream, and also pop out the chat window so that you can type and chat and watch the game at the same time. You don't have to tab out the game, tab out the stream to then type in the chat, because a lot of people don't know that. There's usually a little button that you can press up somewhere near the chat window that allows you to pop out the chat into a separate window and have them both side by side. Now, is there anybody on YouTube? Is there anybody on Facebook? I don't think there is. I think there's about 2 people watching this. Now, once again, how many times is this going to happen in this rack? Interchangex is just struggling and struggling to add bits to his score. He's got a lead of 42, but it is not enough. He's had loads of opportunities to really build on the score, and he's not doing it. But then again, that's all down to the fact Bakermaker isn't making anything when he's in so far. But that can all turn around in one visit. And I think Bakermaker is going to be really trying to keep fully focused here to make something count. Well, nobody's typed in the chat at all, so I presume there's only like me and Mr. Strocum watching this. But it'll be a good match for people to watch later on YouTube. Oh, well, would you believe it? Bakermaker's somehow found a way to scratch, and all his points have gone, and he's away back on 5 again. And surely this time Interchangex has got to build and build on this score. He has to. Oh, well, I thought that was going to draw right up the rail into the pocket. He's managed to get the pot and the carom. But as I say, Interchangex, with all these scoring opportunities he's been given, has got to keep building the score, and he's got to make something decent to get right up there and put the pressure on Bakermaker. All the onus is on Interchangex to build on the score to try and tie this match up and try and get into the caroms first. Well, this looks like the right side of the one as we look. Skim onto the right rail and spin onto the 3. I think that's the plan here. Well, now he's got to surely pot that 3 ball. Is he trying to run the one into the middle? That's a very tricky tight shot. That he's got to pot the 3. And now the force follow. And then this is a tricky one as well, reading that angle. That looks about it, but not too much, or you'll skim past the right hand side of the 3. And he gets it full in the face with enough pace to bounce it off the rail, because that then leaves him the pot in the 3. Ideally, down the right hand side of the table would be perfect. Somewhere just past the middle pocket will leave him the carom. Now again, it's a stun carom onto the 5. And the bonus is potting the 5 as well. And it's going to be the straight 5. And a run through by the look of it. And Interchangex needs to keep an eye on the score. He can't get carried away here. He's in a run of 31. His overall score is on 83. It's now 88. I don't know whether he can pot the 1 and stun onto the 5. He's looking for the carom anyway, but if he gets the 1 and the carom, that'll take him to 90. He hasn't got it, but he's certainly going to be on 90 now. Can run the 1 in, just come around the corner slightly off that rail. And this is exactly where Interchangex wants to be in this 4th rack. In command, in the caroms, and his opponent is a way back, a long way in the distance. And that might be asking too much. Well, Interchangex is thinking of scratching. Oh, there's a fatal mistake there. That is a disaster. All his points have gone. Now, commentators curse. Interchangex way into the 90s on the caroms on a run of 30 odd, and he's found a way to scratch. The cue ball found the legs into that top right hand corner pocket, and would you believe it, Bakermaker, looking down and out, has got an opportunity to dig into that deficit. And I think that might be the motivation that he needs. Just having watched Interchangex lose all those points at the wrong time in the rack that he needs to stay in the match. And he's given Bakermaker the opportunity to build up his score. Oh, that's going to track in. It's hit it. Half ball. Well, strange things happening, Cowboy. There's nothing surprises me. I've done it all myself plenty of times. And Interchangex is back at the table. Bakermaker still back on 5, and here we go again. It's deja vu. Well, this time he can stun onto the rail, chip the 1. It is deja vu. We're back exactly where we were 5 minutes ago. Interchangex at the at the table. The major goal, trying to get to 90 again. I think my voice is going to barely hold up here. Did you see the first rack, Larry? Because that is Larry, isn't it? If I remember rightly. Did you see the first rack? Oh, cracking first rack. And I was right in saying I thought that you had the longest run, a run of 82. And until Bakermaker on his first, I think it was his first visit, he got that run of 90 in the first rack. Yeah. Well, Interchangex having to do it all again. Both players finding ways to scratch on the cowboy table, even on the tight pockets. The cue ball still wants to find a way to that pocket. And it's trying again. And this time, Interchangex is well out of line. He's going to have to make a very good recovery shot here. Cue ball's going to be running with this cut back in the 1. Has a lead of 65 points. Well, he's went for the bank. He's missed the bank, but at least he's kept his points. That's the main objective. And it is deja vu, because now Bakermaker, once again, how many times are we going to say this? He's going to have to try and reduce that deficit and not lose his points. This is where he has to be fully focused. Try and keep things in shape. Okay, you need a wee bit of luck, especially when you're looking for that pot to follow. But again, hitting that 3 ball, more or less half ball. The cue ball doing its best to try and get into that hole. And Bakermaker is going to need another recovery shot here. Not easy, these. And now he's out of line. Going to have to make something. Is it going to be the firm stun? Because it always means the cue ball's running. He's going to have to just get himself back in shape. Now he has the chance here with this 5 ball. Pot the 5. Don't let the cue ball squirt away too far. And he should have the 5-1 carom. Now that gets rid of the 1. Gets it respotted. And now he's into sort of reasonable shape. Well, that cue ball needed to run a bit more if he was looking for the 1 to the 5, but he's got the backup. Now again, if he can hit the rail first and kick the 3, it keeps it in play, and the 5s went over the middle pocket, so that's a bonus. But it's still a long way back for Bakermaker to try and chip away and keep chipping to get that deficit down. The run goes to 31. Now, has he still got a pot? The answer to that is yes, he does. Bit of a cut back in the 1. And a little tricky cut across on this 5. Now this is the one you don't want to get wrong, because if you hit this, well, I think he put too much draw on it certainly, but if he'd just got a wee bit less than that, he'd have hit that 1 ball, half ball on the top side. Because if you then stun it too firm, you can easily follow the ball into the pocket. But the run is 37, the points are on the board, but he's still 38 behind and counting. In fact, I think my arithmetic's going out the window here. No, that's right enough, isn't it? My brain being in shutdown mode, my basic arithmetic goes out the window as well. I think I'm right. Now, is Interchangex going to get to that first goal of 90 and get into the caroms? He's had one attempt at it. He saw all his points lost with a scratch. He now goes to 78. And this is another tricky one. Well, I prefer the left-hand side of the table, because if you miss the one, you're always giving yourself the opportunity of the carom to the 3. But he's played the draw. Straight in 5 ball gets him back in line. A little run through. Not too far. I think he's pretty good. Choice of shots. Could play the force follow, or again the stun onto the 3, whichever he's comfortable with. It's always good to give yourself a choice. Well, that half ball and the 5 ball not going in will help. And also, it will take him to 90. Doesn't want to hit this hard, just wants to avoid getting the extra carom. Doesn't want the cue ball to travel. And the 3-1 is the obvious next shot. And that is now going a wee bit awkward again. Can try coming off. Well, he's got 2 or 3 choices how he wants to play this. He's going to go punch the one around the angles and just try and stun over to the left and chip that 3. Is he going to get there? Yes, he is. Just got there with the weight and no more. Is it possible to play the draw? He doesn't want to bank the 3. And that's okay, and the 3's bouncing out. Well, this is the one that's dangerous. How's he playing it? Is he playing the draw to the 5? Yeah. Cue ball's running a bit more though. Now the 3 ball is, so he's now out of line again and having to make a recovery. But he's got himself to 94 now. Can he keep these points? Yes, he certainly can. That's a good recovery and a fairly simple one to follow. Well, I don't know whether he played the 5 or not, but it's always a 2-in-1 shot anyway. If you miss the 5, you've always the second chance of hitting that reserve ball, hitting the 1 ball, but he's missed both. So the run is preserved. He's got the 25 in that visit. That's taken him to 95. And the pressure is now on Bakermaker. He knows he has to score. And he's missed the one. Has he got the three? He hasn't got there either. So it's another insignificant visit and contribution by Bakermaker at the wrong time and at the wrong end of this rack. And we are now, well, we are still well short of 2 hours. We're about an hour and, what, 53 minutes or something like that into the match. And we're right at the business end in this rack. An Interchangex. Oh, now has he got that there? I think he has. Yes, he has. I thought that was just going to chip away from the 5. Well, he's surely going to have the easy out here if he can just stay on the right side of this one ball. That's what he's looking to do, just so he can skim off the one and scratch into that top right hand corner pocket. Oh, he's missed it. And he was all out there. Had he just clipped that 5, he was scratching off the one. And Bakermaker, well, he needs to get that one away from that pocket for a start. Because if he fails here, he's just got it all set up for Interchangex. Well, that's the one ball away from that side, but it's gone to the other side. So, Interchangex, 2 points away. And Bakermaker has failed again, and I think Bakermaker has shown signs of wear and tear here. He's maybe trying too hard and just not steadying himself a wee bit when he should be. Plenty of time in the shot clock. It's a 60-second shot clock. And whereas it worked for him in the first rack on that run of 90, he had a good pace for each shot, but this time they're not falling into place. And with this shot here, Interchangex should be out. And we should be going to the final rack decider. Oh no, again too thick. Well, that was a fairly simple enough outshot. He might not get anything easier than that. That's how strange this game can be. That might be his best chance he'll get. Sitting on 100. Bakermaker way back on 55. Yeah, pot the 5, stay in the bottom half of the table, give yourself a choice. Got to watch the pace again with this one. Now, is Bakermaker fully focused this time? 3 balls going to be in or over the pocket. It's gone in. It would have been better had it been actually over the pocket, because he's now going to have to pull off a shot here again. These are tough. Any touch on those points in the corner pocket there and it ain't going in like that. It just won't go in. You've got no leeway at all. You have to be dead on line. And so the run is 20. And Interchangex looking to stun into that. Well, he's going around the 3 rails here, or is he going down the right side? It looks as if he's trying to come down the right side. I prefer the 3 rail shot, but he's going to try and judge the line to come up and down, and he's way off the mark. Much better chance of going the 3 rails to get to that corner pocket. I don't like that line. Like I said though, that first opportunity he had to scratch off the 1 might be his best opportunity. You never know. But Bakermaker, well, what's happened here? Oh, I thought he'd scratched. Well, he's certainly got no problem with the pot, because he's only got the 5 to go for. Straight into the middle pocket. Don't run through too far. And he's missed the pot. And this time, he has set up Interchangex with a choice of shots. Either left or right, whichever you prefer. I prefer the left side. And so does he. So this to tie the match. And again, he is way off the mark. And that's 2 excellent opportunities to get out. And the longer it goes on, the closer Bakermaker gets. Well, he's missed the carom and the 5 there from that pot and the 3. And he's left himself the stun and a little chip onto the 5. How's his next shot coming around? That one's going to be a blocker. He's now out of line, and that's what can happen. You're relying on that bit of luck to leave yourself a shot. He's still got a shot, but it is not easy. The 1 does pass the 3. He can reverse bank the 5, or he can bank it there up into that pocket, but I prefer the 1 ball. And a big draw, just to make sure you don't scratch. Oh, he's played the combo. Well, that's a good recovery shot. Brave. But where's the next carom coming from? Big stun onto the 1. And what about the cue ball? Well, he's only going to be able to see the 1. He can't see anything else. He's right behind the point. And I think he's got to hit this with a bit of pace to get this cue ball going through. Yep, get up the table. Try and give yourself a shot. Well, it would have been better had he missed that 5. Okay, he gets the extra carom. And he's took a risk there, and he's got away with it. And he's also got the easy carom to follow to get to 90 once he pots the 1. And Bakermaker is on the tail of Interchangex. Interchangex standing on the line in this 4th rack. He's had 3 goes at getting out, and 2 of them were pretty straightforward scratches, and he's missed them. And that 1 ball is now in a dangerous place for Bakermaker. He has to make this carom. It's easy enough to get because he's leaving the 1 ball in a dangerous spot. Very risky. Once again, probably the stun, but he's got to go to the rail and hit that bottom side of the 1. Well, he's trying to get to the 5. Oh dear, what's happened here? Well, there is a bit of good fortune. We know that Bakermaker Interchangex is going to have to go up and down. I don't think he can scratch. That won't scratch from there. He's going to have to try and get the line up and down and follow the 1 in. Is he going to? There's not enough room to get in past the 1 from that side by spinning it off the rail. He's going to have to go up and down and hope he gets this flush where he's going to follow the 1 in, and even that's a slim chance. So that's technically, it's 4 chances that Interchangex has had to get out. Admittedly, that one was a slim to 0 chance of getting out. But Bakermaker is now eaten into the caroms. But he took a risk there, leaving that one close, but he got lucky when he left Interchangex blocked out on the one. But that's the bit of luck you need. And surely this time, that is Bakermaker's last chance in this rack. Oh, good evening, Fluke. What's happened? Is Shooter's Pool shut down? And Interchangex finally has took his opportunity, and this time he took his time, and we are going to the final rack decider. It is 2 racks all, and it's Interchangex with the first chance, breaking off in rack number 5. Well, he's missed a pot in a 3, and he's missed a carom, and not a good start, and that is immediately handed an easy start for Bakermaker. Oh, good evening, Andy. Well, if you haven't watched any of this from the start, you've missed a bloody good match. Match of the tournament so far. Well, it's anybody's now. It's all up in the air who's going to win this. But Bakermaker has been given the first chance to build the score. Interchangex had the break, missed the pot in the 3, missed the follow-up back-up carom, and ended up with no score on his first innings. And that is a pretty fatal error to make. Well, you missed the biggest run of the tournament on the first rack. Bakermaker got a straight run of 90 in that first rack, and then to follow that in the first rack, Interchangex I think got a 50 odd, and actually ended up pinching the first rack off Bakermaker. It's been a pretty good standard for most of the match. But Bakermaker has failed on 15, and that is not good enough. He knows that. You've got to score, especially at this critical stage with the final rack decider. You've got to chase and get to that 90 before your opponent. And the match now is just probably not far off. It's just over 2 hours it's been going. It's going to just chip the edge of the 3. 5 balls going dead on the bottom rail. He has the pot in the 1. Or a pot in a 3. He's trying to get to this bottom rail. Didn't get there, but he's still got the shot off the 1 or off the 5, whichever he likes best, whichever's the sort of nearest natural angle without doing too much with the cue ball. Just trying to use the angle off that 5 to chip into the 1. Back across to the right would be ideal. It gives you the easy carom. Again, with this shot, you want to try and hit in behind the 5, or at least do something that brings it into the table, and that will do nicely. You can now pot the 5, stun into the 1. Would be really unlucky not to leave himself a half chance at a carom to follow, because the 5's going to spot, and the cue ball won't be too far away if it hits that one. And as long as the one goes away from that spot, he's lined up pretty well here for the carom, but he has to be careful. We've seen it and we say it all the time, got to be careful with these shots. This is where it can go wrong. The pace was good. He's hit the three more or less full in the face. The run is on 20. The lead is 5. And it's going to be the draw. And he's missed the draw. Always difficult to read the line. And it's only 25. And it's only a lead of 10. And bakermaker back at the table. First objective, get rid of the deficit. And then work on it from there. 5 ball going next to the 3. Very handy. Now he just has to be careful with this, because if you get too cocky you can skim off the 5 and into the pocket, and he got the double kiss there. The double kiss there I think saved him. It's always dodgy playing little shots like that. Now I don't think he's left a pot. Yes he has. He can cheat that pocket no problem. That 5 goes past the 3 every day of the week. I don't know why he's looking at the 1. Well, I think he should have had a second look at that 5 ball. That 5 ball would have chipped along the rail and it would have cheated into the pocket, even though it's tight pockets. He had to get it flush, but it would have gone. He was trying to pot the 1 to obviously leave the easy carom. I don't think he looked at that enough. But anyway, Interchangex back at the table. Bakermaker didn't get rid of the deficit, so that was a failure on that visit. But you see how these pockets make your pots so much more difficult. You cannot play loose pots on this table. You have to be right on line. You've got no forgiveness. And that's what makes it more of a challenge. Because not only is it testing your skills with the angles and the rails and making caroms, it's testing how good you are at picking the line to a pocket, because it has to be right on the nail for them to go in. So Interchangex back at the table. A 7-point lead. Looking for a carom. He's going to have to manufacture something. He could stun off the 5 down onto the 1. That looks the most obvious shot. But again, he's looking to draw, I think. Trying to make a draw into the 5. See, I don't know why a lot of players try the draw shot as a recovery half the time. The most obvious shot is using the angle that you've got there, and that was from the 5 to the 1. Well, anyway, it's Bakermaker back at the table again with another chance to try and kill the deficit. So for any latecomers, I'm going to give you a quick reminder. We'll have a quick look at the bracket just so that you know. This is a match that we're watching just now between Interchangex and Bakermaker. But a reminder that tomorrow, and this is UK time, GMT, we've got the one lost side match between Larry from the US and Acero from Japan. And that match is going to be tomorrow afternoon at 3 PM Greenwich Mean Time. That is 9 AM Pacific, and it's 9 AM Eastern Time. and 6 AM Pacific time. I'll be there. And that's due to kick off at 3 o'clock. Remember, it's a race to 2 for that match. So hopefully you can join us tomorrow for that one. And in the meantime, it's Bakermaker struggling again. And he's just been showing signs in that last rack and early on in this rack that the old focus is beginning to sort of break down. He's managed to get rid of the deficit, got himself a little lead, but no sooner has he done that than he's handed it back to Interchangex. Oh, the little half ball clipping the one, and would you believe it, the old cowboy scratch bug comes back again. And Bakermaker back at the table, and this time he's still got the lead. Cue ball is sitting pretty perfect here for the force follow. Has he got a pot though? Has he got a pot? The one ball keeping going to the left. This is again putting the pressure on. It needs a good pot to keep the innings going. And that's a better one. And now it's going to be top rail, side rail if he can, into that 5 ball. Oh, he just caught it before, it doesn't matter. And now he's back into a semblance of a shape here. If he can get the cue ball back over to the right, he's going to leave himself that 3-1. And again, has to hit it left side or full in the face. Anything in the right, you risk the scratch. The run is only 10, but the lead is building up. Bakermaker now on 51. Needs that pot, and he's still got it. Now, my tendency here is, no, when I look at that, I didn't, that 3 ball was not that inviting. If the 3 ball was less square, it'd have been better to try and get the 3 on its spot with the 1 bin up there. Well, there's a bonus. That certainly helps the situation. The carom onto the 3 and the 3 going in. Well, he's going to again need another good pot. And that just went in. Well, now the run is 24. Has he got a pot? Well, none of those 2 balls. He's going to have to play the recovery again. It's going to have to be good. Well, this time, Bakermaker suddenly found his line again with these pots. Simple carom to follow. The run goes to 27. The lead is now, what, 34? Sitting on 63. Interchangex on 29. Now, has Bakermaker come to life here? That's not going to get there. And the commentator's curse has done him again. He's taken his eye off the focus off the shot in hand, and the run ends on 28. And I've jinxed him again. Now, is that lead going to be big enough? And can Interchangex respond? Oh dear. Well, I thought that was going to be a disaster right from the start there. Well, again, he was relying on a little chip in the 5. He's still got a pot. but he was relying on that going a lot squarer than what it's ended up. Now, he doesn't want to hit that 3 ball when he goes up the table and scratch off it, because that's on if he plays this the wrong way. And he's going straight up. Now, where's his next carom coming from? Let's have a look. Well, he's got the force follow. Again, these are just tricky to rely on your instincts. And I think he's just skimmed past that. Is that going to count? He's just skimmed past it. And it's only 7. And that could be, well, I'm not going to say the fatal mistake, but it is not enough. It is way short of what he was looking to get. But whenever you end up leaving yourself the force follow at a distance, it's much harder to actually just judge that line. There's only fractions of a millimetre in it and how you pick that line. But at that distance, the cue balls get further to travel. So it's got longer to start running out. And that's exactly what happened there. He just skimmed past that ball by a hair's breadth. And that's all it takes. And the thing is, in most cases in Cowboy, you don't tend to play long force follows. Whenever you're at a distance, it's generally going to be a carom you're playing rather than to try and play a force follow. So you don't get an awful lot of practice at them. It's always sort of mid-range or short-range force follows that you play. They're the shots you're more used to in this game. But that could be a bad mistake, or unforced error, shall we say, by Interchangex, because Bakermaker now has got himself into the 80s, looking to put himself in charge in this final rack. Oh, again, the commentator's curse has done it. Looking good, building up a score of 22, and only 4 short of 90, and he's broke down again. Well, Interchangex gets the pot. He's missed the bonus of the carom, which again leaves him in trouble. He's going to have to pull a shot out if he's going to extend this visit. And it's probably going to be the draw shot as a recovery from that 3 to the 5. Not easy at all to judge. Yeah, they are so difficult to pick the line where that cue ball's going to hit the object ball and what tangent line it's going to take to go back the way. And it's only 5. And is that going to go in? I don't think it is. He hit it to the rail too soon. Well, would you believe it? Bakermaker is just so desperate to get to this 90. I think he's just forgetting again. He's just sort of in and out here, Bakermaker. He was looking good there 5 minutes ago, and now he's falling out of the game again, even though he's the one with the big lead. And all the time that Bakermaker sits there short of 90, he's always under pressure, because he knows that Interchangex is more than capable of eating into that score, and by the time Bakermaker gets back to the table, he could be trailing. That's how good this game can be. You could be dead and buried, and 5 minutes later you can be in the lead. But the thing about this game is you're not getting anything handed to you. You have to put it together. You have to construct your runs. If you don't do that, you ain't going to score in any game. But it's very important in this game to get yourself in shape. Be aware of where the balls are spotting, or whether a ball will spot or not, and knowing what end of the table you're at. and always keeping an eye on the scoreboard and making sure you're in the right sequence of shot. And it's again going to be the attempted draw recovery. What am I talking about? It's a bloody pot. Now it is 9:30, and 9:30 at night here is beddy bye time for me. So I'm in a worse condition than the two guys that are playing. I've at least got an excuse. I've got age and tiredness against me. Well, there's almost a mistake. He's still got the cut back on the one. Well, surely that one cuts. Does it? Then again, maybe not. I don't think it does now, the more you look at it from there. But really thin, but the cue ball's going to be running. This could end up in a disaster. It is very thin. I'm sure that goes. Then again, maybe not. Where's the cue ball going? He's okay. And when you look at it and how it ended up, then it probably didn't go. Well, that ended up in a run of 22. Interchangex on 63. Bakermaker gets himself to 87. Going to need a very thin edge in the one here. And now the pot in the one. And get himself off the rail to leave the carom from the 1 to the 5 to take him to 90. And this one will be off the side rail and into the 5. So now Bakermaker is the favourite for the match. Interchangex way back in 63. And Bakermaker building up those caroms that he needs to win the match. And not only that, but to put him in the first spot in the final. I think he hit that just a wee bit too hard. If he hit that a wee bit more delicate there, he could have kept that 3 ball in play. And now he's going to try. This is a risky one. Yeah, I think he kind of chickened out a wee bit there. He didn't really go for that full-blooded because he knew the risk of scratching in that corner. But he's preserved his points. He's got 94. Interchangex on 63. And this is... well, this is more or less last chance saloon here for Interchangex. He has to get to 90 right now. There's no excuse. I think that's really what's required here. Has to be 90 or nothing at all. I'll get another drink. Don't tell me he's missed a 5 there. I was leaning down to get my bottle. He's missed a 5. I can't believe that one. Well, I think that's Interchangex down and out. It'll be a miracle if he wins this now. It will be a definite steal. It will be robbery if Interchangex gets back and wins this. Bakermaker will feel he's had his pocket pinched if that happens. And Bakermaker now in 97. With a force follow from the 1 on to the 3. The 1 ball needs to keep going past that pocket. I think he'll probably play the draw from the 3 to the 1 as well here. And that 3 ball, if it slows up, well, I think he's maybe going to have to work this 1 ball. He might try and... he's going to have to try and do something to get the 1 ball into play. Yeah, he's missed the carom in the 3, but the one ball where it was sitting was absolutely no use to him. And now it's in a good position. Well, it's 99 for bakermaker. Interchangex gets the pot on the 5, gets the bonus of the carom on the 1, so he's got the open table, but he's got a mountain to climb. Is there going to be a twist in the outcome of this match? I would say it's unlikely, but stranger things have happened. But the odds on it are, well, I would say they're 70-30 against Interchangex pulling this off here. But where the 1 ball is now is no good to him. He's going to have to get that potted. He's on 81. Now, a cue ball's going to cross to the left-hand side. Now, what's he thinking here? Well, I think he's thinking, let's leave the 1 ball there and leave it awkward. That's what he's thinking. But I don't think that's awkward enough, because I think bakermaker has been given the angle. The worst thing that's going to happen here, and the most obvious thing, is a double kiss. If he gets to play that 1 ball from where it is. Yeah. Well, now, I don't think Interchangex has got much option. He's going to have to run into it. Let's have a look. What's he got here? Right, that takes him to 86. Wants to try somehow to push that 3 towards that corner pocket, at least give him a shot into the middle. Well, he's not going to be potting the 3, so now he pots the 1. That takes him to 88. Oh, he's maybe right behind it, is he? No, he's okay. These are the ones that get tricky. That is about the line, just where he is right now. Your natural instinct tells you when you're looking at that shot that it's there or thereabouts, but as I say, when it's a longer distance, it's not as easy to read. But Interchangex is going to have to try and cut this into the right middle and avoid a carom if he can. He doesn't want to run around into that 5 ball. And again, I think he chickened out, and that could be his... Oh. He's hit the actual jaw. That's why he didn't lose his points. But bakermaker is now teed up. I didn't think bakermaker could see that. Well, that's ended up in a disaster for Interchangex. I thought he'd corner hooked him, and bakermaker has managed to keep his lead and win out 101 points to 89 in the final rack decider in this race to 3. And it is bakermaker who's now in the hot seat in the final, and he now has a wait to see the outcome of what's happening on the 1 loss side. Let's just have a reminder, we've got the match tomorrow with Acero and Larry, and when this updates, we will see that bakermaker, Interchangex, let's just refresh that. That's it now. we have Interchangex is in the semi-final, and he's now waiting on the winner of that match tomorrow between Larry and Acero. It's going to be 3 p.m. GMT, that is 9 a.m. East Coast, 6 a.m. Pacific. I'll be there, and I hope you guys will be there as well. If not, then it will be on my YouTube channel after it's been processed. You can watch the match also on Twitch for a couple of weeks, but they then delete them. So until tomorrow, I'll see you again, and I will wish you good night, and thanks for joining, guys. I didn't think anybody was there.